let's talk about ad variation experiments in Google Ads and or ad copy overhaul, just
Hmm.
overall experiments in Google Ads. So if you're wanting to test your ad copy in Google Ads, I mean, first let me ask you, and then we'll talk about the options. When you think about adding new ad copy, testing new ad copy, do you generally think of setting up an experiment to do it?
No,
See,
I
I
don't.
did not either under the old regime of expanded text ads,
Mm.
but now the clock has turned, the calendar has turned, and we're past June 30th,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
I
we
believe
are.
there's no more editing your expanded text ads.
The edit button is gone now.
Wow.
I checked it day one. The edit. I was like, how are they going to enforce this? Oh, they just took the edit button away. Like
Yeah.
the edit button is gone now. It's pretty crazy.
So, I mean, back in the day when I wanted to test a new ad, I would just create a new ad. I would need about
Mhm.
7 characters, one character headline, one character
Mhm.
headline, 5 character description.
Right.
I'm
That's
exaggerating,
what it
but
used to be.
it was pretty small. But now
Pretty
things are
small.
so
Yeah.
big, the responsive search ads, and you put so much in them. I've found it more difficult to here's what's difficult, Chris. If I want to test a new headline and like my current responsive search ad is full, I mean, yes, I can copy that ad and then on the 12th or 15th, however many we get on the last headline, I can change it to the new one I want to test. But that's really not that motivating to do because
Yeah.
one, you can't control how often each ad
Yep.
shows up. And then number two, you can't control how often, unless you get into pinning and all that, which I don't like
Pinning
doing.
and no.
But
Yeah.
you can't really control how often that 15th headline or 12th or whatever the limit is shows up versus the other 11 that are going to be the same. And then when it does, you can't really get data on it individually. You just have to judge the metrics of the ad overall. So I find testing responsive search ads just by creating a second ad to be a bit tough or a lack of motivation there. So I
Yeah.
have kind of moved into, let's set up either, we'll talk about it, ad variations or full on experiments to test the ad copy. So that's kind of where I'm at. Does that at least philosophically make sense to you?
You're exactly right. I never really thought about it, but just you voicing, like the punch in the gut that I get now about changing ad copy and the inefficiency of it and and the frustration that is it making a difference, because all I can see is um the percentage of time that a combination is showing, and what does that tell me? I can't see what the CTR is on that or anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
you're exactly right. It's absolutely frustrating.
It's kind of like, yeah, if I work out every day, I'm going to get stronger, lose weight, be more healthy, all that kind of stuff. But if I take my right arm and lift a dumbbell one time each day, it's not going to do much for me. So it's like, is it worth doing? You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
very unmotivating. You know what's not unmotivating? You know what makes me want to just throw my
Uh-oh.
right hand through your chin is this automated
What?
um automated camera thing you have going on. What
Oh,
what
you
is
don't
going
like
on?
that. Watch this.
No, I
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
it.
I can make it go down and up. I can turn it off. Let me see. Watch. Turn that off. There we go. How's that? It's not going to do it anymore. Is that better?
Better. Yeah, better.
Okay.
You can move things to
Sorry.
your right side just a smidge.
Oh,
Move the camera to your
it's
right
fine.
just a smidge. It's not
No,
fine.
it's fine. I
Okay.
have my
All right. I'll take the
deer
W.
in the frame. I
I'll
have my
take the
deer in the
W, but
frame.
just so you know, that was highly annoying. So
Okay.
Chris, now that you're kind of on board with this, I guess we have a couple options. When you, and by the way, to get to the experiments, to set up a new experiment, it's very interesting. You have to click to all campaigns on the left
Yes.
sidebar. And they remind you of that if you try to click in there from within one campaign. But
Yeah.
that's how you can access these options. And what they have in there, Chris, in terms of types of experiments that you can run is custom experiments, ad variations, and then video experiments. Let's table video experiments for another day. But
Yeah.
ad variations are a little bit different. Do you want me to go into those, Chris, or do you want to go into that?
No, go ahead. I mean, it sounds like you haven't pulled it up now, so go ahead.
Yeah. So it's a little different. Basically, my understanding of it is they essentially you can tell Google to look through your responsive search ads. Ooh. You also have an option to click on text ads. I wonder now if anybody is just married to their text ads and wants to edit them, there might be a loophole in the system. You could set up an
Wow, I never
ad
thought about that.
variation. You could set
Oh
up an
man,
ad variation. Never mind. I
yeah.
clicked on
Don't
text ads. It says starting June 30th, you'll no longer be able to create
they
or
got
edit
that too?
expand text ads,
Ah,
but you're still able to click things. So you might actually be able to do it. But I'm sure pretty soon it'll only be responsive search ads. If you want to, you can tell it to look for only your path, your headlines, your descriptions, whatever. And then you can create a variation of find and replace. When it says call now for a free quote, you could change that to get a free quote today. And you could see how that changes things. Chris, I have less experience running these than I do regular overall experiments, but it's definitely an option. And you'll get data on it, like the click-through rate, the clicks impression, how many ads were affected. And I think you can pretty much accomplish what you want. But
I
I'm a bit skeptical that you could
I don't like it.
yeah, what I'm skeptical of is you could change one headline in one responsive ad, then it reports on click-through rate. And is that
Yeah.
when this showed, or is it your your overall responsive ad overall? I'm not really sure, but I have not run these nearly as much as experiments. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm highly skeptical of them. I loved them with expanded text ads because
Yeah.
especially if there was like a certain holiday or a special that the client was doing, I could say every time for this, for headline one, just put, July 4th special, 50% off, stuff like that. And I could run it for a certain amount of time, put it at like a 99% because you can't do 100%. You have to do 99% and 1%. So I pretty much 99% of the time that headline would be shown and then it would just expire. I loved that. That was wonderful. Now with the responsive stuff, Jason, I don't know if I've done it ever with responsive
Yeah.
because it's just like a punch in the gut. It doesn't work like it used to. We need a better system.
We'll have to just get data and experiment with that. But what do you think about this for what's interesting is you can change your final URL as well. I
Yeah.
believe for ad variation. So
Mhm.
what about running an overall experiment to overhaul your messaging on all your ad groups? This is probably going to work best if you have a limited campaign, in the sense you have maybe like 2 or 3 ad groups, even 4 or 5, but you have like one responsive ad per ad group. And you just want to try something totally new with your messaging. What do you think about that? Do you think it's valid to try an experiment, to test an overall experiment, to really test out a bunch of different ad copy? And again, your option here is to just create a duplicated responsive search ad and then run them against each other inside one campaign,
Yeah.
and let the data come in however it comes in. Let Google run one ad however much it runs one ad.
I mean, I guess it. I mean, I guess I wouldn't do it.
Why? What's slowing you down?
I would
Just
run just. I just have 2 ads
yeah,
because experiments for me are necessary when you have conflicting inputs. One input's going to change the other, but when it comes to ads, it can choose either one. And I'd rather just run 2 ads together rather than setting up an experiment, because it's just simpler, it's faster, it's easier.
yeah, definitely. And like you're saying, an experiment should be for like a major thing. And like a major thing is like adding on broad keywords. A major thing is
Mhm.
using a different bidding strategy. A major thing is targeting a different location if you're able to do that with an
Mhm.
experiment.
Yeah.
Like big changes. Now, there's 2 kind of things you need here, Chris. You need a limited campaign, in the sense like you need a manageable amount of responsive search ads to change the messaging on, and then you need a totally different messaging. And I think in that scenario where you're able to run through a bunch of ads and test them, and then you're able to totally change the messaging on your headlines, on your descriptions, I think that's worth trying out there. Yeah, so I think it's worth trying out there in an overall experiment mode, because if I'm changing messaging, I really want to figure out quickly if this is going to work and to what extent it's going to work different. So the goals of doing that, higher click-through rate, higher conversion rate would be my goals.